But the other big news today, former President Donald Trump scheduled to appear in court later today on dozens of felony charges accusing him of illegally hoarding classified documents. The former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, Paul Coggins, here to talk to us about this history-making federal court appearance, the result of a very rare case, Paul.
It's the rarest of cases, and today is an interesting day because it's really kind of a pro forma, kind of a check the box day. But a lot of important things are going to happen today. Number one, we're going to see at least the preliminary trial team for President Trump appear today. The other thing that's going to happen is the judge is going to have to wrangle with conditions of release. And obviously, I don't think they expect President Trump to run anywhere, but the issues, do they take his passport? Is he limited anyway in what he can do and what he can say? That might not all shake out today, but it'll shake out over the next several weeks.
Well, and you say
the key thing, yeah.
Well, you say that the government really has a heavy burden here. You expect that Trump's own words, even a recording of the former president, will be really key in this case as we see this play out.
Absolutely. This is a very different kind of federal statute. Most federal statutes, ignorance of the law is no excuse. Here, ignorance of the law is an excuse. And so to prove that the defendant knew the law, knew he was violating the law, they're going to have to come forward with some evidence of that. And I anticipate the chief witness against President Trump is going to be President Trump himself. They're going to play recordings of what he said, which indicated he knew what he was doing was wrong. So there's a great book by Agatha Christie called Witness for the Prosecution. I really anticipate that President Trump will be the key witness for the prosecution and the defense here.
Well, and another hurdle for this particular case would be seating an unbiased jury for, obviously, the former president, very well-known person. Do we think this case being tried in Florida as opposed to Washington, D.C. will help him?
Well, this is what voir dire is all about. And it's not about picking people who haven't heard of the case and don't have some kind of feeling for or against the defendant. It's about finding people, 12 people, and there'll be some alternates, who can put aside any predispositions and judge it based upon the evidence produced at trial and the instructions on the law given by the judge. And that's the job of the lawyers. It's the job of the judge to seat a fair jury. It will be difficult in this case, but I don't think it's going to be impossible to seat a fair jury anywhere.
Well, you just mentioned the judge, another key figure in the case, the randomly assigned judge, a Trump appointee, Aileen Cannon. How do we expect that to factor into this?
Well, I don't think the appointment itself should factor into it. I will say this is the kind of case that's going to be difficult and you would really ideally want your most experienced judge to handle a case like this. Judge Cannon is not your most experienced judge, so it's going to challenge her. But the judge is key in the federal system. I mean, she's going to be making key evidentiary rulings in this case. She's going to be making the key decision of when the case goes to trial, because I anticipate the government's going to try to get the case to trial very quickly. The defendant, who has a right to a speedy trial within 70 days, is instead going to try to push the trial off, and it's going to be up to the judge to decide when this case is tried. And then, Shannon, at the whole end of it, if there's a conviction in the federal system, the judge is the one who imposes the sentence, not the jury.
Be very interesting to see how this all plays out moving forward after today. Paul Coggins, former U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Texas, thank you so much for your insight.
Thank you.